Hi everyone, it's Josh and Annika from the PAS Violin Shop, and welcome back to our YouTube channel.
We are so excited to take you on this behind-the-scenes tour with our head luthier, Peter Bingen, as he talks about what makes a quality instrument.
Hi there, this is Peter Bingen. I'm the head luthier of the PAS Violin Shop of Schmidt Music in the Twin Cities. Today I'll be talking about what makes a good violin in terms of wood, and then I'll talk about what we put into each instrument before it goes out onto the sales floor. A violin is basically a very beautiful but also simple shaped object that's hollow on the inside, made from wood. There are two basic kinds of wood that make up the body of the instrument. The tops are always made from spruce, and the ribs and back, scroll and neck, are always made from maple, with ebony for the fingerboard. So the fittings can be made from different types of wood, either ebony or rosewood or boxwood. Those are the three main traditional woods used for that. And then there's no part of the instrument, in terms of the back, ribs, or top, that's any thicker than 4 to 4.5 millimeters. And that allows the instrument to vibrate and amplify and color the vibrations from the strings so that you hear a beautiful sound, and also you hear the sound because the violin itself acts like an amplifier. A lot of people are curious about the wood that goes into making an instrument. A lot of makers and workshops put a lot of effort and time into choosing wood that will make a good sounding and good looking instrument. Usually the wood itself needs to be seasoned for a number of years so that it's dimensionally stable. The more wood has a chance to season and acclimate and dry out, the less susceptible it is to changes in temperature and humidity. So usually when an instrument is made, the wood for that instrument is at least 5 or 6 years old and is air dried naturally. Makers will also select wood according to its density and relative flexibility. If you have a very heavy, very stiff piece of wood, sometimes that'll dampen the tone. But also if you have a piece of wood that's too light and too flexible, you won't have the core or color to the sound that you need. So a lot of times wood will be chosen with just sort of in the right window of flexibility and density and resonance. The first part of an instrument that's constructed is usually the ribs, and they're built in the shape of a violin, as you can see on a mold. The ribs are bent with heat and steam, usually more heat and a little less steam, and they're bent around the mold and fit to the mold and glued at the corners and at blocks on the inside at the top and bottom. That gives the instrument its distinctive shape. And then the top and back plates are cut to that shape so that the overhang is relatively even all the way across. Folks ask me about how the arching shapes and the three-dimensional shape of an instrument happens. The top and back are carved out of solid pieces of wood. So if you can imagine a piece of wood about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch thick, and then these curves are carved out of the wood, much like a sculptor carves something out of a solid block of marble or wood. Once the outside arching is complete, a lot of times the next step will be to hollow out the top and back plates so that they have the proper thickness and flexibility. After that, and the amount of design and work that goes into checking the flexibility and making sure that the thicknesses are correct, makers will also put in a thin strip of what's called purfling, which is 3 pieces of veneer that wrap around the instrument. Purfling is decorative, but it's also functional in that it helps prevent cracks. If a crack forms at the edge from damage or stress, usually it'll go to the purfling and then stop. It also frames the outline of the instrument really nicely and really lands it in space visually and aesthetically. After everything's graduated or thicknessed to specification, sound holes can be cut, a bass bar can be glued in and fit to the inside of the instrument, and the box can be closed. Then the neck and fingerboard are installed, the instrument is varnished, and then it's sent to us for all the needed setup work. When an instrument gets to us, we look it over thoroughly to make sure it's in good condition, check it for open seams, and evaluate its quality overall. Then we'll put several hours into it, making sure that it's in top playing condition. Our first step with setting up an instrument is to adjust the pegs and make sure that they're perfectly fit. A lot of times the pegs are preliminarily fit when they come to us, and they need to be readjusted. So we'll go through and reshape the shanks of the pegs to make sure that they're perfectly round and to the correct taper, and also shape the holes to make sure that they are the correct taper and also perfectly round. When those 2 steps are done, we will finish the pegs, trim them, oil them, and apply peg dope so that the peg has the right amount of friction and also the right amount of slipping so that it works perfectly and has the right feel underneath the fingers. After the pegs, we'll then go to the fingerboard and nut. to make sure that the fingerboard is the right shape and that there aren't any lumps or bumps that might cause a buzz. Also that the projection of the fingerboard is the correct height so that the bridge isn't either too short or too tall. After that, we'll take a look at the end button and the saddle, take the chin rest off. Once all the ebony work is done, I will then fit the sound post. The sound post is a small piece of spruce, like a small dowel, and it fits in between the top and the back plates on the inside. It's not glued in, but it's fit and cut so that it is a perfect fit at the top and bottom. When that's done, I'll then fit the bridge and adjust the string heights and finish the bridge, and we'll string it up.
Thanks so much for watching our video on how we set up instruments here in the Paul Schmidt Violin Shop, as well as what goes into a quality violin. Be sure to find us on Facebook and Instagram, and be sure to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and hit the bell notifications so that you are notified when we have a new video. Until the next time we see you, keep practicing, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.